Hi there, it's Tanya with PM Yoga. We're going to do a quick flow. This will be great to do in the morning to invigorate you, get your energy up, get your day set off to a good start. Maybe mid-afternoon, early evening. I wouldn't practice this one in the later evening. It may prevent you from sleeping. Today we're going to start in downward facing dog, and maybe you had the opportunity this morning to add the core video before this, so you should still be pretty good warmed up. So coming into your downward facing dog, and just starting to walk your dog out, starting to lengthen and stretch out the body. You can add anything that you want in here. Kind of pedaling out through the legs. Shaking out through your head. And maybe coming into tabletop, grabbing a few rounds of cows and cats. Again, I always want to start with that awareness in the body and definitely making sure we're checking in. My body can't just step into a challenging flow without a little warm up. Good. Back into your tabletop. Let's thread the needle real quick. So taking the right arm and weaving it through. Rolling into that shoulder, possibly taking the left arm, reaching up to the top of the mat, and just really stretching in between the shoulder blades. Finding that awareness. Good. Coming back to center and taking it through the other way. Focusing on the breath. Good. Back to center. Reaching the arms forward, coming into a little bit of a down puppy. So forearms can come to the floor. I like to lift my elbows up. And you've got a little back bend here. If you needed to take the back bend out, you would just tuck the tailbone, pull the ribs in a little. Sometimes it's nice to shake the head. Sometimes if you have the flexibility, you can come down a little bit more, setting the forehead to the floor. So just pay attention to what the shoulders are saying. All right, and from here, we'll come into our downward facing dog again. And then from downward facing dog, you're gonna look forward, bend your knees, and walk your feet forward to the front of the mat. We'll come into a half forward fold. So think about lengthening through the crown of the head and extending back through the tailbone. Go ahead and soften in your forward fold. Heel toe your feet a little bit wider. Bend your knees deeply and hang. Grab your elbows if you like. Sway if you prefer. If you like hand under foot pose, good place to put it in. We will be doing quite a bit of weight bearing in the hands in this flow. And pulling the hands out, heel toe and the feet back into the midline. A little bit of space is best for me. You choose how you like yours, and coming into that full forward fold. Bending your knees, scooping yourself up all the way up. We are in our mountain pose, so let's get going. Take an inhale, reach. On the exhale, coming down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, all the way fold. Scoop yourself up all the way up. Returning to mountain pose. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, and let it go. One more time, inhale all the way up to the top. Exhale, mountain pose. We'll add on at the bottom of this one. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, we're moving on the exhale. Bend the knees, right leg's gonna travel back. If you're able, set your knee to the floor and walk your hands up to the thigh. Take a second to stretch into this quadriceps. hip flexor, the psoas, and if need be, you can curl your toes. You can place something under the knee, just bringing the corner of the mat underneath if you like. If you're able to have the top of the foot down, really press into the top of the foot. That's going to stretch you a little bit deeper, and it will help engage your core muscles here. Take a big breath in, and a long breath out. Good. Inhale, bring your fingertips to the floor. As you exhale, you'll step into your downward facing dog. So we don't have a whole lot of time back here, but we've got a breath or two to move around. We're going to lead with the right leg. Sweep it up to a three-legged dog. Bring the knee forward. Plant the left knee down. And same thing here. If you can have the top of the foot down, you may press into the top of the foot, into the mat, bringing the hands up to the thigh. Just really focusing on squaring ears over shoulders over hips. And activating through the hip flexor, the front of the thigh. Breathing. Good. We'll bring the fingertips to frame the foot. You'll pull your left foot in. You'll come into half forward fold here, and then take a full forward fold. Inhale, reverse one, dive yourself up. So basically the same exact thing, we'll just switch the lead leg. Take an inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Moving from here, you'll bend your knees. Left leg returns to the mat. Top of the foot down, toes forward if you want, but this time let's reach the arms up. Shoulders pull back, start to really lengthen through the spine. Bring your hands to the floor. Back to downward facing dog you go. Couple breaths. Kind of settling in. Left leg leads us this time, bringing it forward. On the flip side of this, one more time, you set your right knee down. Maybe the top of the foot comes down. Maybe you reach up. Just lengthening, loosening things up a little bit, especially if you are practicing this in the morning. Good. Cartwheeling the hands for you, framing the foot. Right leg pulls in. Coming into your half forward fold. The full. And I'll meet you up at the top. Good. Continuing on, changing it up just a bit. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time we'll step directly into downward facing dog. Then shift into plank. So protract this a little bit. Knees down will be your modification. Exhale, down to downward facing dog again. We'll do that a couple times. I should say a couple more times. Last one. Good. Look forward. Come way up onto your toes. Bend your knees. Feet travel forward. Half forward fold. Full. Up you come. One more time, just like that. And then we'll start adding some other postures in. Halfway lift. Remember, we're moving on the exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, find your plank. Strong plank. Down dog. You have two more just like that. Inhale, coming into that plank. Exhale, dog. Last time, inhale, come into plank. We're going to change it this time. Set your knees down. Lower all the way down. Getting set up for Sphinx or Cobra, whichever your preference. Shoulders roll back. We retract them a little bit. Tops of the feet are going to stay on the mat. Lift up. Lift your heart. Squeeze those elbows in towards the midline. Try not to have so much weight in the hands. Exhale, release down. We'll take a quick child's pose, pressing back, getting as much length in the spine as possible. And rest as long as you need. If you're good to go, we'll meet up in our downward facing dog again. So we're going to crank things up just a little bit as we get moving. Right leg will sweep, three-legged dog. Bring your foot forward. High lunge this time. So I usually move my back foot in just a hair. Helps me get into the position a little bit safer. Allows me to breathe. You're going to have several options with the arms. One would be having them together at the heart in prayer, or just simply holding them up in the air like this. If you wanted to add a little bit of a challenge, you're going to reach your right arm up, take your left arm behind you, grab a hold of your left thigh, press, lift, and open up your heart a little bit more. Good, we're coming into a twist, so you extend your left arm back up, draw the hands down to the heart. Take your left elbow across that thigh, press the palms together, lift. Modified would be setting the knee down, taking the left hand to the inside of the foot, and the right arm extending open. Good. We'll set the fingertips to the floor and step back to our downward facing dog. Again, maybe walking it out just a little bit. Our left leg will be our lead leg, so three-legged dog, bringing it forward. Again, sometimes I move that back foot in, and up you come into your high lunge position. Finding your breath, and you want to do the same thing you did with the arms last time. So holding at the heart, holding here, or left arm staying reaching up, right arm pressing into the thigh, lifting the heart a little bit, breathing. Good, right arm rejoining, bringing the hands together at the heart, and slip it into our twist. Remember to modify if needed. So you're going to start really squeezing into the midline. I will meet you in downward facing dog. Take a little jog. Inhale, look forward, come way up onto your toes, bend your knees. Exhale, step your feet forward. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold. Inhale, lift your face, sink your knees down. You can have feet touching or not. You're going to start to come into your chair pose. So for me, I've got to tuck my tailbone a little bit and lengthen through the spine. If needed, the hands can come to the heart. Really start to press down through your feet. And we'll come all the way up, take a small back bend. It could be just like this. You could throw some cactus arms in there, whatever serves your needs. And back down into your chair pose. Got a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We step back to downward facing dog on the exhale. Right leg leads us to warrior two. So windmilling up. Finding your warrior two, checking your alignment, finding that breath. This is where the vinyasa will kick in, where we practice chaturanga as an up dog, if that is part of your practice. Knowing that you can do a tabletop flow, you could just go to Sphinx, you can take a child's pose at any time. So let's check in and move with our breath. Cartwheel your hands, frame your foot. This time we'll meet in plank. We'll have that chaturanga. That up dog, that down dog, again, if that's part of your practice. Moving with the left leg, inhale, bring it up. Exhale, place it, windmill up, you're in warrior two. Finding that alignment, finding that breath. I will meet you in plank, where we'll carry on. Chaturanga. Up and then downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, look forward, come way up onto your toes, bend your knees, walk, step, run, jump your feet forward on the exhale. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, full. Inhale, come into your chair pose. Inhale here, press up, exhale, a little bit of an extension, back into that chair pose. Challenge position, lift your heels, come up onto your toes. Breathe. Could you go down lower? Could you go down lower? Could you have a seat and come into goat pose? Lower down into your canoe or your kayak. Good. Let everything go for just a moment, just a moment. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So we're going to do some crow poses. We'll do them on the back side of the body. So you'll draw your legs up close to your body, maybe give them a hug, hands on shins or arms wrapping around. If you've ever done crow pose, you know that your hands become your feet. It's a really strong pose for the core. So practicing on the back is a great option if we're not ready to take off yet. So the big toe mounds are going to come together. The knees will stay bent. Strap your tailbone down. The arms come in between the legs. They're going to flex through your wrists. So what you'll do is lift up, find your crow pose, and then you'll release into that hollow body hug. You'll come back up, come into your crow pose, release, hollow body hug. We have just 5 crow pose. Make it count. Make that breath happen. Last one, hold, breathe. Really lift up. Good, we'll take a little pause, head comes down, hugging the knees in, rocking side to side. You're gonna cross your ankles if you like, hook the hands to the back of the thighs, and very gently roll up the lumbar thoracic. Don't roll on the cervical spine. You'll let your feet touch the mat, you'll place your hands down on the floor, and you'll step back into your downward facing dog. There are a lot of fancy ways to get back here, but for now, we'll just focus on where we are. Big inhale. Exhale. Stepping back into a flow. Right leg leads us again to our warrior 2. Warrior 2 to reverse. Nice deep breath. Good. Warrior 2 to extended side angle. Finding the breath, you're making adjustments. You've got an optional side plank coming up. You can always modify. We'll go right into our vinyasa from there. So look down, cartwheel your hands, frame your foot. As you pull your left leg around, you're going to go ahead and stack your arm bones on that left side, pulling back, lifting up into your side plank. Breathe. If you wanted to toss a little flip your dog in here, you could take your right hand to your heart, take your right foot to the back behind you onto the floor, and start to lift up into a little bit more of a back bend. I'll meet you in that plank position, catch your breath, and take your flow. You have time for a quick child's pose if you need it. But we'll do the same sequence on the other side. Your left leg will be your lead leg. Extend it up. Come up. Back up into that warrior 2. Again, from warrior 2 to a reverse. Thinking about your neck. Warrior 2 to extended side angle. You can always go deeper here. To a block, left hand to a block, or the floor. Look down, think about that side plank. Right arm is your stable arm. Legs come back. Stack, stagger, knee down if needed. If you're grabbing that variation to flip the dog, left hand to the heart, left foot comes behind you. You're going to start to lift up. Breathe. Back to plank you go. In chaturanga. Inhale and exhale. We're going to meet up at the front of the mat, so we'll look forward, way up onto the toes. You come. Walk those feet forward as you exhale. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, full. Taking a little detour, take your feet a little bit wider. Multiple options. Just hang out. Hands could go under feet again. You can take the big toes into the peace fingers, use your elbows, pull the body down a little bit deeper. Softness in the knees, lengthen the spine, lengthen the neck. We're not quite done. We have just a few more to get through. But sometimes it's nice to take a little break, catch your breath, and maybe evaluate where you are. Inhale, releasing, coming into that half forward fold. Heel toeing the feet back into your midline. Bending your knees, scooping yourself up all the way up. Starting from our mountain pose, we'll take the inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time we're gonna step right back to plank and right into our chaturanga. Our up and then our down dog. A couple breaths here before we get set up. We're gonna grab a half moon next. So right leg will lead you there. Let's get to warrior two. If this is your first half moon and it's a little scary for you, I would recommend doing it on a wall. It's much safer. You can actually feel your alignment a little bit better. So what you'll do is you're gonna move your back leg and your front arm. You'll bring your front arm to right in front of your toes. You'll bring your left hand to your hip as you float your leg up. You're breathing. And then you're gonna try to open up the body to the left side of the room. Left arm can come up or not. Half moon's quite a challenge. Keep breathing. It's beneficial to have a block under the hand if you have T-Rex on the side. Sometimes getting into the half moon was one type of challenge and getting out of it is even harder. So what you want to try to do is float yourself back up to warrior two, and sometimes you just don't land where you think you're going to. We'll take our vinyasa. Maybe give yourself a little pat on the back. And let's give the other side a try. So back up to our warrior two position. Remember, you're moving forward, this leg's coming up. So left fingertips finding the floor, right hand finding the hip. You're breathing. Maybe you extend up and open. It's okay, we're all wobbly. If you fall, that's just gonna happen. I fall all the time. Just get over it and get back up. Keep breathing. All right, let's make our landing. Warrior two. It's better the second time around sometimes. And we'll take one more vinyasa. Nice job. If you know the back lying variation of pigeon is going to serve your needs better, go ahead and come on down onto your back. Take a stretch and then get set up. If you know that the front lying variation is a safe position for you, we'll go ahead and come into it. Taking the time to square up a little bit, to really flex through the right foot if we're able, and then coming down to our safe position. If you want to lay on your face, good option. And you're having a pretty good conversation here with your hips, whether you're on the back line variation or the front. And I'm going to give you another option. So if you're joining me here and you want a really big stretch for your back leg, you would come back up to your hands here, kind of adjust through your hips. You'll take your left hand, reach it back, so it's a little bit of a twist. Pick up the left foot and pull the heel towards you. If you wanted to make it a balance pose, you could bring your hand to your heart. You could reach up. Eventually you might reach back and the arms may round. Keep breathing. Keep pulling that foot in towards. So we'll go ahead and release. Downward facing dog is going to be a good way to stretch out, but it's not a complete necessity if it doesn't fit your needs right now. And then we'll just simply switch. So again, if you're on the back line variation of this, you switch to check out your position. Make sure you're going to square it up. You're essentially splitting the hips. And you're breathing. If you pulled your leg up on the other side, you're going to try that on this side as well. So you kind of twist, and reach back, and then let's hold that foot and pull it towards you. Maybe you can't go so hard. Maybe you reach up. Maybe you almost fall over. you're on your back, stay there. We're going to join you. We'll come into a tabletop and we'll walk our hands and knees forward, cross at the shin bone and ankle, and flip ourselves over. Make our way down to knees pulling in, rocking side to side. Just a few stretches before you're off to your day. We'll set the feet to the floor, take them the width of the mat. Let your arms relax however you like, and grab some windshield wipers. So we want to let our heart rate and our breath pattern slow back down. Hopefully you got a little sweat on and you're going to be energized and ready to take on whatever the day holds for you. Drawing the feet into the midline, getting set up for a quick bridge pose. So heels in line with the seat, shoulders roll back. You're going to inhale and start to peel yourself up. Think about your chest lifting to your chin versus your chin going to your chest. If you wanted to interlace your fingers underneath you, that's a great option for some, not all. Don't turn your head in bridge pose. Keep your feet really rooted. Use your glutes here. Good, strong breath. Down, lower all the way down. Take the feet the width of the mat, and windshield wiper. Options coming up, hanging out in stillness, catching your breath, or grabbing another bridge pose. Even if it was supported, you could take a prop and put it underneath that to sink. Here we go, we're getting set up, taking a breath in, and peeling ourselves up. Moving the shoulders underneath if you want. Come into this position if you prefer. Interlacing your fingers underneath. You gotta make it what you need it to be. And making your way back down. Taking those feet wide. And windshield wiper. Sometimes it feels good to pull the knees in as well, so you can grab that variation quick. And we'll be rocking. We're going to think about the knees being stacked over the hips in our little chair pose on the floor. Arms are going to draw out to the side. You can do palm up or palm down. Just make sure you nestle your shoulders down. You're going to drop your knees over to the left. If the body allows, you might take your left hand and place it on top of the thigh here. You could go into eagle legs if you wanted. Try to let this right shoulder blade relax down to the mat. And if your neck allowed, you could look over your fingertips. We have that core awareness. Zip your zipper back up. Pull yourself to center. Right where you started. Drop it to the other side. Same thing. Use that breath. We're starting to calm the nervous system back down after flow in, back bends, kind of crank it up for us. Just energized, keep us strong. And back to center you come. Let's set the feet to the floor and let's lengthen everything out. Nice, full, deep breath, or maybe you're fisting and opening. If you are doing this in the morning, maybe toss a yawn out. If you've got just a few more moments to dedicate to your practice, we'll come into a bound angle position. So if you had props, you could absolutely lift yourself up with a block and a bolster. And you could do cactus arms, chest and shoulder opener position. You could do left hand over your heart, right hand over your belly. Sometimes it's nice to just place your hands on your thighs and encourage the hips to open up a little softer. And then there's nothing wrong with having your arms in more of a Shavasana style position. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. And listen for the sound of your breath as it simmers down. Let your belly rise and your belly fall. control your thoughts and how they pop into your head and random weird stuff we think about. Maybe just pick something positive to focus on. Come to that place of gratitude for what your body just allowed you to do. If you have more time to dedicate to a stillness practice, a mindfulness practice, a meditation, or even just some breath work, take the time here, let the video keep rolling, and finish your practice before you move on to your day. If time does not permit, we're going to heel toe the feet in and let the knee out and let the knees prop against each other for a moment. Sometimes I'll do some little windshield wipers here as well. It just depends on how that back body is responding. Maybe hug the knees into the chest, give it a little rock and roll, and then roll over to your side using your right arm as a pillow. Big inhale. As you're able to use your left hand to bring yourself up, set yourself up, and come into that seated position. Again, if you were going to go and do a meditation or use this time for breath work, perfect setup. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you feel great, and I'll see you again real soon. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Hopefully this left you feeling energized and ready to take on your day. Don't forget to subscribe and like the channel. And when you ring the bell, you'll get a notification for each time a video is loaded. Have a great day. Tanya with
Wait. Sorry. Go.
Hi there, it's Tanya with PM Yoga.
Give me a second. Go.
Thank you so much for joining me for this video. Hopefully it left you feeling energized and ready to take on your day. Thank you for all the subscriptions, the likes, and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you'll get a notification next time a new video loads. Namaste. Do it again. No, no, no. 2 fingers. No, no, no.
All right, go.
Today we're going to stand and start. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this makes you feel energized and ready to take on your day or enjoy the evening starting as a relaxation. Like and subscribe the video. Like and subscribe the channel.